My name is Laura Bailey. I am a 1997 graduate from the nursing program here at St. Joseph College. Currently, I am the Executive Director for the Women and Infant Service Line at St. Francis Hospital and Medical Center here in Hartford. When I graduated from St. Joe's, I started my career in nursing as a labor and delivery nurse. And for me, I couldn't imagine working anywhere else. When I graduated, I kind of felt like there wasn't anything that I couldn't do. So very much a good attitude to have, especially when you're going into an environment like labor and delivery where it's pretty high acuity.
My name is Marcia Predengruber. I graduated in 1975 with a degree in special education and child study. I am the Dean of the College of Naturopathic Medicine at the University of Bridgeport. I supervise the college program, both the academic and the clinical aspects, and manage all of the facilities and the budget and everything that goes along with the program. I really enjoyed what I was studying at school, and I think that helped. It was now something specific, a way that I could contribute to the world. It really was a meaningful education, not just an opportunity to study and pass a test. And then, of course, when I started working, that made all the difference in terms of appreciating what I had learned, that it was meaningful to me.
My name is Kathleen Barry Bruette. I have an economics degree from St. Joe's, and I graduated in 1949. Right now, I'm the CEO of the Kathleen and Jean Bruette Partnership and Foundation, the Keith Bruette the program at the School for Young Children. Jean decided that Harry Keith, who was his senior partner in KBW, had lived in West Hartford when his daughter was small, and his daughter had gone to the School for Young Children. We had lived in Bloomfield, so our children hadn't gone to the School for Young Children. But Jean decided that it would be nice if Harry would like to do something with him to make a contribution to the School for Young Children. And that's how that started, and they made a sizable partnership contribution, and that's what's grown into this wonderful program that they have every year.
I'm Sister Judy Carey, and I'm a Sister of Mercy. And I began my master's program here in the summer of 1968, I believe. And the first class that I took was in special education. If I look at the university and my relationship to the university, I have moved from almost every possible connection in the sense of staff member, faculty member, administrator. And then while I was in various roles in leadership for the Sisters of Mercy, we related through a governance role and was always connected to St. Joe's as it was then, St. Joseph College. I am really proud of its unique niche around continuing to provide an undergraduate education for women. And I really believe that the leadership development for women today is absolutely critical And I believe we have something to bring to that. We do it, we've done it, but I think we have a niche there that we need to continue to grow.
My name is Susan Moore. It was Susan Stern when I was an undergraduate at St. Joseph College, and I graduated in 1965 with a Bachelor of Arts in Mathematics. I am retired, and before my retirement, I was in IT. I was at the Hartford, which has also been known as ITT Hartford and Hartford Insurance Group, for about 25 years. One of my project teams won a major award for creating an automated workflow for the claims processing back in the 1980s. One of my major accomplishments in recent years is the founding and establishment of Adaptive Sports Partners of the North Country, a nonprofit organization that provides year-round sports and recreation opportunities for people with disabilities. I think that besides the confidence, which was critical, that St. Joe's fostered, there were other qualities that were supported. I mean, my core honesty and ethics was totally supported by the college, of course. Standing up for what I believed in, enjoying people with many varied backgrounds, and my real love of learning. All of those things were really fostered at the college.
I'm Carolyn Dodd. I graduated St. Joseph in 1959. My field was child study, early education. I started teaching in Washington, D.C., and I was working with young children as a kindergarten teacher. And it was very bereft of material. There really was nothing to work with. So it was at that point that I discovered the work of Maria Montessori. So I took the training to become a Montessori teacher and went to various parts of the country over a period of about 25 years. I was, I think, more the kind of a person who wanted to be more analytical and reflective, and the spirituality certainly was a great draw. It was a very caring, nurturing experience.
Hi, I'm Mary Mordock. I graduated in 2003 from what was St. Joseph College. I got my undergrad in history with a teacher certification. I came back and graduated in 2008 with my master's in curriculum instruction and concentration in special ed. So currently I am a high school teacher at my Hall High School in West Hartford. I teach 9th through 12th grade. I've taught modern world history, ancient world history. I think there used to be an approach to teaching history just as facts, dates, names, and a cause and effect, but really no connection to present day. And I will say, my education classes allowed me to be able to look at the relevance of it in today's society. So that way I was able to use those skills to present it to my students.
I was looking to go into special education, and so I was looking at programs that offered that. I was determined not to go to a women's college and had mixed feelings about going to a Catholic college.
I chose St. Joseph because I was interested in a women's college. I always went to public schools. However, when I went to St. Joseph, I really felt at home.
Going to St. Joe's was a dream of mine. My mom and dad were immigrants. My dad felt that you really could have a good life if you became a secretary. And I know that's true too. But I really wanted to go to college. I was an inner city student. that St. Joe's honored with a scholarship. If there had not been a college right in the area that I could go to as a day student, I would not have been able to go to college.
Here's the funny part. When I came to St. Joe's, I came against my will. And my dad really wanted me to go to school here, and I didn't.
I went to St. Joe's because it was a nearby college, and the socioeconomic makeup of the student body wasn't too intimidating.
I wanted to continue my education and pursue a career as a nurse. So I came to St. Joe's as a second degree student.
I started teaching as a first grade teacher, and in those days you had very diverse children in your classroom. The school systems, public school systems, didn't have many programs for children with disabilities, and so it was then that I asked if I could go on for my master's and start in special education, because I felt the programs in working with children with mental retardation, and that was the only certification that was available at the time. I wanted to do it, and that's when I started in '68.
When I found the program, I thought, well, all right, this has exactly what I want. And it turns out it was far more than I wanted, and a women's college was exactly what I needed.
I think a women's college was something that was very important to me at the time, and still is. I think there's a definite place for women's colleges.
I wasn't in the position to lose that opportunity that I had coming to St. Joe's.
I was at a place where I could use my experience that I had in my in-hospital experience in my actual learning, and I found that to be extremely beneficial.
I came from a household of men and boys, and it was important to me to see women who were achieving and successful and making contributions.
I was pretty shy before I came to school. Pretty darn shy. I made friends, but it was I wasn't an outgoing person at all. And in fact, my mother asked what happened to me when I came home after my first term in college, that I had changed in terms of being less concerned about what I might say and more willing to open up and ask people what they thought and to share some ideas of my own, which I had been hesitant to do.
I was not afraid to speak up in class and ask questions. No one in the class made me feel shy or intimidated. Now, perhaps that should have been the case anyway, but I know I would have been much more shy and had a much more difficult time doing those things in a co-ed classroom.
I do think there's something in the air, in the walls, and in the water of the University of St. Joseph that I think it creates, first of all, the academic excellence, the commitment to providing quality education for the women, and then in all our graduate programs. That is consistent.
Even though I was a day student, St. Joe's was the kind of school where you didn't have to be a boarder to be involved. Many of us who were day students were totally involved in school life in many different areas, either in the different clubs or in the student government. And that was, I think, some of what was so wonderful about St. Joe's. Because it was a women's college, there was this amazing opportunity for leadership.
It was the missions of the university that really kept me grounded and motivated me. The environment was nurturing and caring at the same time. My professors pushed me. So I feel like St. Joe's found me. I didn't find St. Joe's. And as a result, I was able to find myself once I embraced everything that the school offered me.
It's very intimidating, the thought of going to a nursing program. I mean, you just look at the curriculum and you're like, wow, those are some pretty intense courses. And just really knowing that I could do this. And the support that I got from the professors when I was here was invaluable.
While we were protected, we weren't inhibited or smothered at all. A whole world was opened to me that I had not anticipated at all.
I think back to the moment pinning ceremony, the official welcome into the profession, and it happens, at the end of your senior year, right before you graduate. And I was asked to speak at that ceremony, and I'll never forget standing up in front of my classmates, and it was probably my most proud moment, and I felt like I'm who I'm supposed to be now, and this was my calling.
In some ways, it was a whole new opportunity for appreciating new things. Even going to the cafeteria, I learned what salad dressing was. I grew up in a household that was predominantly Italian cooking, and what you put on your salad was olive oil. And when I got here, there were things called salad dressing, as well as getting to know the bigger world out there that I was learning about from friends, from faculty, from staff. It was a whole other opportunity that I hadn't anticipated. I thought I would just go from one academic component to another when I was in school, and it was a much greater experience than that.
I think it was invaluable to have been a student at a good women's college. It was a wonderful and safe environment, and I had many excellent teachers who challenged me to go beyond my comfort zone and keep learning and trying new things. I had the freedom to pursue areas of study that appealed to me without any concerns about social pressures. I was a math major, and it was okay to be a woman majoring in mathematics. My 30-credit minor was in chemistry, and that field was fine for women too. Not being on a co-ed campus meant that I didn't have to worry about being too nerdy in front of young men. I could go to class in my lab coat without concern about my looks.
I made the most of my experience here at St. Joe's. I really did. I pushed myself academically, I pushed myself socially. So all of those things definitely added to my growth as an individual, as my growth in my career too. So spring of 2006, I'm like, all right, it's time to go get my master's. I started at another institution. I took 2 classes. The first class was just, I had a bias. It was politics and public education, and I love that kind of stuff. So then I took another class. And at the end of that class, I felt so disappointed. I was not inspired. I was not held to the same rigor. I was not exposed to new research in the same manner that I had at St. Joe's. It's the stuff that I had learned in my undergrad wasn't even discussed in the graduate program. So I came back.
The other day I was in the library here at St. Joseph and saw Sister Mary DeLorde's book, The Baby Grows in Age and Grace. And what a wonderful experience it was for me to go through that book and read and review what she had to say about children, and her advice to parents and teachers was certainly very innovative at the time.
St. Joe's was so important in our lives that then when the opportunity to, when Winnie Coleman called and asked if we would like to do something a lot more substantial, it worked for us. We both liked the school. We decided that even though there are a multitude of places where we could gift money, that it would be nice to concentrate in one particular place, and that St. Joe's was a gift in our life.
I loved working with children with special needs, and I guess that was recognized. And in those days, We didn't often know where we were going to be sent to serve, but it was really through some of the, probably Dr. Castle and Sister Betty O'Hare and some of the folks that were here at the university that requested that I be able to be assigned to the Gengras Center. And probably that was the greatest gift in my life. And I can remember the sister calling me up and saying, now, do you want to go to the Gengras Center at St. Joseph College? I said, yes, I'd love to. And she said, okay, we'll work on that. And I really feel that that was probably the greatest gift for me in the history of my relationship and the history of my learning. I mean, I really love to learn, and I learned so much my 12 years here, and have never stopped.
I have one quotation that I'd like to end with. I've shared it at St. Joe's before, and Jean and I have shared it in other places. It goes, isn't it funny, but princes and kings and clowns who caper in sawdust rings, and simple folks like you and me are builders for eternity. Each is given a bag of tools, a shapeless mass, and a set of rules. And each must build, ere life has flown, a stumbling block or a stepping stone. That says a lot about who Jean and I are. But we hope that we have provided a stepping stone at St. Joe's.
I want to take this opportunity to express my gratitude for this honor. I really was just so taken and so surprised, and words just don't seem adequate to express my gratitude.
I'm very honored. I know several of the recipients of the award before me, and so of course, I don't necessarily feel I'm as deserving as they are. In nursing, there are lots of things that we do every day, and we do it, and we're like, yep, that's just kind of what we do. So I'm very honored to be receiving the award.
It's an incredible honor, and I feel just humbled by the gift of that.
It is an honor to be selected for this award. There are a number of amazing teachers that have gone through the program, and so I'm humbled by that.
When I began the letter and then I saw I was receiving the award, I was really surprised, and I had this wonderful feeling. But then when I read the second sentence, which said it was the Winnie Coleman Award, I started to cry. I could do it right now. She was a very special friend, a unique Irish woman, an absolute delight, and loved this university her whole time and did everything she could. She was very successful in her fundraising. As a wonderful Irish woman, she could try to help you want to give and give generously, and that was her mantra. And so that just touched me beyond what I could even describe.
I hadn't actually thought that I'd be leaving the legacy at St. Joe's. It's such an honor to receive this award. I never expected it. So many St. Joe's graduates have done so much for their communities and their colleagues, their families, and never been singled out for an award. My hope is that one woman who reads my story may be inspired by it and will do something she never thought she'd be able to do.